Hi everyone, I'm Hayley. I'm always in the craft room, but not this week because I've been in Croatia. We are finally home from our family holiday and we had such a wonderful time. I can't even tell you. The coastline was just stunning. The weather was really kind to us. The resort was beautiful. We enjoyed it so much. But I know you're here for the sewing, so let's talk about my holiday wardrobe. What went right? What went wrong? Because, it's me. So there were a few things. And we'll start, shall we, with what went right, which was overall everything. I had plenty to wear every day, lots of choices. There are a few tweaks I'd make for next time, definitely. But overall, it was a very successful holiday wardrobe. What went wrong? I've got my trusty little rack over here, just out of sight. And I'm afraid it was all fine. But yeah, it's the rucksack. There are a few changes I need to make for this to be a real winner. So, due to diary constraints on either side, we did not travel from our nearest airport because we could have a slightly longer holiday if we went from further away. So, on the first day of travel, we caught a taxi, a train, a taxi, a plane, and then picked up a hire car at our destination. So it was a lot of in and out of vehicles. And putting this on my back, getting out of the first taxi of the entire trip, I felt a stitch pop. Yeah. Oh. Oh. So it was the ones holding the straps right up here. Now, this is secured in many places. There's a diamond shape of stitching here, and then along the top, the instructions have you sew a line along there, come up, a line along there, and back down to make, I guess, is it a trapezoid? Anyway, that shape. And when I sewed that bit, conscious that all of the weight of the bag would be on it, I was really careful to backstitch at the beginning and do the lock stitch at the end. I don't know what you call it, a tie off. My machine has a button and it does a few and it's really secure. And I made sure at the beginning and end of that stitching to be really careful. What I didn't anticipate was where it actually broke. So the stitching did not come undone, it actually snapped. And it snapped here where the stitching went from webbing to fabric. That stitch snapped literally the first time I tried to put it on the trip. And you know what machine stitching is like? Once the thread is broken, you've lost the integrity, haven't you? So with every single time I put it on, every step, I was nervous. And honestly, I felt throughout the trip every single stitch in this row pop. So this side held and has still got 2 rows of stitching. This side, by the end of the whole trip, is down to 1 row of stitching. But it didn't fail. And it took a while, to be honest, for all of those stitches to go. At various points, I would take a step and feel it go. And I always thought, like, this one is going to be the one where it then kind of is a chain reaction and each subsequent one goes and the whole thing just fails. But it never did. And, we had a long travel day there. I didn't use it in the resort at all because it was too big. And on the way back, I used it all the way and it held. But this is my question to you all. Should I have used some kind of like heavy duty thread? Is there such a thing? I've never seen it. I normally buy Gutermann and I've not seen it on any of the Gutermann stands, but tell me if there is such a thing, if you regularly use it for bag making. Should I have done the whole thing in it? Just the straps? I don't know. If you give me your best advice, I might buy some to redo this, or maybe I should have just done 2 rows, gone down 2 rows, and then gone up. Do you know what I mean? And just done each one twice. Tell me what you think, because I'm going to repair it, because overall this was a fantastic bag and I loved it. The other thing is these straps are too long, so I need to shorten those. They were just flapping around and getting in the way. You can see I knotted them together at the bottom just to keep them up and out the way. Also, when I bought this webbing, they did have 4cm wide webbing, and I thought, oh, maybe I should get that because it would be more comfortable. But because it was my first go making a bag and making this pattern, I didn't want to mess with it too much. I should have trusted my gut and got the 4, because as I alluded to at the end of the last Friday sews I did, 3cm straps on a heavy bag, they were quite uncomfortable. And I am going to make a padded bit to go over them to make them more comfortable, because I think this is a fantastic size for like a weekend away bag. If I go somewhere, even just overnight for work, for a meeting or something, if I only need one change of clothes, a wash bag and shoes, taking a wheelie suitcase seems like overkill, and it does slow me down getting on and off trains or trams or buses. And obviously it's the UK, we have a lot of cobbled streets. Wheelie suitcases are great if you've got a lot of weight. Can't beat them if you're carrying a lot of weight. But if it is just one night stuff, I think this will be great, because often I take a hold all shoulder bag, and even if there's not a lot in there, they get uncomfortable and heavy fast. Constantly swapping shoulders, oh, it's digging in. They're also bulky and make it difficult to like walk quickly past people. I'm a fast walker in the city, so I like to just get where I'm going. So a backpack will be great for those kind of trips. So I'm definitely going to repair it and do that. And the other thing I need to add is more pockets. So I had this one on the front for bits and bobs that I accessed constantly. That was great. I had this one on the back, which I had intended for my phone, but I ended up putting our passports in there because there was nowhere else in the bag where I felt they were really secure. So normally on a UK trip, I will use that for phone, but I need something else inside for like just secure storage where you don't worry about it falling out. This was great for like cuddly toys and colouring books, but you know, for like a pen or something where you just want it in one place. So I don't know, I could add something in here maybe, or hanging off there. I've not really thought it through yet, but definitely I need one more pocket inside. The final thing that went a little bit wrong with this is fabric choice. So if you recall, this is a home deck fab, and I had an issue with my machine kind of catching on the raised embroidery dots. I'll hold it close so you can have a look at the texture. And if you look under this zip flap, you can see what's happened, can't you? The zip has caught on the embroidery and pulled it. Now, what I did when it happened with my machine was just take a pair of snips and just cut them off. And I literally just like, these are curved. Where's the camera? I'm so terrible at this, sorry. Curved snips, and I just cut it really close to that edge. And it looks fine again, and it didn't seem to lead to any kind of raveling or anything. So I'm just going to have to go through and do that and hope it doesn't happen anywhere else on the bag. But it's definitely the zip pull that is doing it. You can see that one's quite long. But now, see where I've trimmed them off? It looks absolutely fine again. You can't even see the missing dots or anything. So yeah, slightly annoying, but oh well. But other than all those myriad things, it was great and I loved it. So that was a definite success. Wardrobe wise, I did reach for some things more than others, and I'm going to have a little sip of tea and then I'll tell you why. So as I mentioned before we left, I'm very sensitive to the sun, and I had packed a couple of sundresses intending to wear them like for dinner out in the evening. And what I hadn't appreciated was that the last few times I've been on holiday to the Mediterranean was probably before we had kids, and therefore either in May or September when the days are shorter. So in my head, we were traveling quite a long way south. So I just thought it would be dark by dinner time. But obviously at this time of year, it's lighter a lot later. And also now we have kids, we eat earlier. So yeah, if we'd gone on holiday in May or September and gone out to eat at 8, it would indeed have been warm and muggy and my kind of sundress weather. But as it was, going out to eat at 6 p.m., the sun was still out. It wasn't obviously the heat of the midday sun, but we were generally eating like on a terrace overlooking the beach with the waves glinting in the sunshine. It was absolutely delightful. And I wouldn't have wanted to move indoors because that's all part of the holiday experience. But the sun was still shining down on us. So for those meals, I ended up wearing things with more sun coverage. One of them being my Notches Odell dress with the big poofy sleeves, which I found a little bit hot. And the other one I kept reaching for was this, which is a Marilla Walker Mayer dress. And yeah, it was fine from a sun coverage point of view, but it just felt really sloppy to be eating out in. The vibe in the resort was dressed up a little bit later. And while I was absolutely fine in this at like 6 p.m., the nights that we ate at our, because we were like self-catering, so the nights we ate in and then went for a walk after dinner when it was darker, I was fine in the more dressed up kind of eveningy vibe. But yeah, didn't love these for dinner, and it is what I ended up wearing. So all of that to say, what I need for next time, and obviously we're not going on holiday for a very long time now, but I just need to note it, and it probably is also good for daytime in the UK, is sundresses that are high at the neck but sleeveless. So this has a small cut on sleeve, but just being in a knit as well, it just felt kind of sloppy. So I want some high neck dresses that are sleeveless, maybe a little ruffle or some shoulder detail, but not exposed like this, but not like the Odell dress where it's a high neck and sleeves, because that was too hot. So that's definitely something to bear in mind for future summery makes. The other thing that didn't work amazingly well was my swimwear. Now this surprised me because I've never ever had an issue with ready to wear swimwear. I think since I've been making my own clothes and getting better at fitting, it's made me more fussier about ready to wear stuff. Has anyone else found this? So here is my swimsuit. I bought two of exactly the same one in two different colours. This one's an olive green. I got it from TK Maxx, where I often find nice quality swimwear. It's a DKNY brand, and it was great, except after I got out the pool, the bum was kind of saggy. So, as we have discussed at length, I'm 5'4", but all of my length is in my legs, so I have quite a short torso. So I think I've just like clocked it with this, because I'm now getting better at fitting myself, that this is just too long in the body, and so it manifests as a droopy, saggy bottom. The other thing that's different about being holiday with kids is that this is the first holiday in like forever where I've spent all day in a swimsuit. So when my husband and I would go away before kids, we'd often stay somewhere with a pool, but do things during the day and just pop there for an hour in the evening or something, or go straight down to the pool after breakfast and then go out for the day. But here we had whole days where it was like, get up, put swimmers on, go down to the kiddie pool, do a bit of that, throw a dress on over the top, walk to the snack bar, go and have a play on a playground, wearing a swimsuit and a dress, and then straight back to the pool, dress off, hop in again because I'm getting hot kind of thing. And wearing a one-piece swimsuit all day, especially with a dress on over the top, is really annoying for going to the loo. And as I say, just because I've never spent an entire day like that, we're not really lie by the beach kind of people. Just, you can tell I don't like to sunbathe. So, yeah, that was new. So I started looking for a tankini. I don't want to wear a two-piece in the traditional style because I already go through like a litre of Factor 50 on a week's holiday. The last thing I need is more surface area that I have to smother with sun lotion. But a tankini, where the top and bottom met in the middle, so they look like a one piece, but you can just take the bottoms off when you need, would be fantastic. So, has anyone seen where this is going? I've got a one piece that's too long in the body. What I really want is a two piece that meets in the middle. Could I just chop this off, add some swimwear elastic, roll the top in to make some bikini bottoms, and then hem this on the cover stitch to make a top? Do you see where I'm going with that? Is that a terrible idea? Will my machine sew through this? I don't see why not. Will it ruin the lines on those pleats? Maybe. Will turning the elastic and turning up a hem make it so short that they're not going to meet? I don't know. So many questions. I did think what I might do is get one of my old swimming costumes and try it and see how much length I can get away with removing, if you know what I mean. Because this is just my normal ready-to-wear size, which is a 12, and it fits fine around. There's just too much fabric, like north-south. So maybe I'll give that a go, because otherwise I like these, but there was definitely a kind of wet nappy effect at the back, which it's not what you want, is it? So since I've got home, I have actually sewn one thing. I know. It's currently in the wash though. So what I'm going to do is save that and tell you about it next week, because this has already been quite a long Friday sews. So I will catch you up on that next week. And I've also been busy cutting out some underwear, because that's the next desperate need in my wardrobe. In the next few weeks, I am going to think about my last few summer makes. I'm not ready to say goodbye to summer yet, because it's really not arrived that long ago here in the UK. That said, I feel like I've got enough clothes that even if this weather continues, realistically, we're never going to get more than 6 more weeks, even if we never get another cold spell this summer. So I do feel that I've got enough. But there are just a couple of fabrics and things hanging about that I don't want to put back into the stash. I just want to make them up, because I absolutely love at the start of a new season when I go in my wardrobe and find things that I'd finished that I'd forgotten about. So they feel like brand new things. So yeah, I need to think about my last few summer makes. And then we're going to be thinking about planning autumn and winter. And I was wondering, would you be interested in like a wardrobe planning thing again, like I did for the whole holiday? I'm going to link that video below actually. I went over to my wardrobe, looked through what I'd got, planned what I needed and what patterns I had and fabric. And I was thinking, since it worked so well to fill all the gaps in my wardrobe and I got everything made up, maybe I should do that again for autumn. Because I think what previously I've done when I've made plans and not followed through is I've looked at the stash and thought, oh, that fabric's been there ages, I should do something with that. But I've lost the enthusiasm for it. When I looked at it the other way, what gaps have I got in my wardrobe that I need to fill, and then go and shop the stash? Somehow that made me more excited to actually do it. So let me know if you would be interested in that. Sorry I sound so hoarse. Going away with kids. I mean, I need a holiday now to recover from the holiday. It's not like it used to be where you'd go away and come back feeling recharged. I'm pretty worn out. But yeah, it's back to real life, but also back to the craft room. So I can't complain about that, can I? Anyway, thank you for sticking with me to the end of this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. I hope to see you again soon. Bye.